I thought I would try to do a video on, do you know how they say we are all one in the New Age programming? The new cage. They're trying to put the people that have left religion in. Intuitively, that's not what I've been shown. That's not what I feel. That's not what research has led me to. There are two. There's the demiurge and eternal essence, the mimic and pure consciousness, artificial intelligence and spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's even been proven that our brain operates like two separate consciousnesses. Now, that could be that we are actually dualistic spirits that have been split inside the self, and your twin flame is literally inside of you. Or it could be that the ego and the spirit both reside in the body or the brain. Maybe some people only have ego and only have spirit. It's not as if everyone has been looked at. And that's exactly what I feel is going on. And, you know, the Bible speaks a lot about soulless ones and empty vessels. AI isn't new, basically. I don't know how long ago it was created, but, you know, in linear time, it would likely be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. And it took us over. It basically runs this whole system. Kind of think of it like if Google took over the world, and so human bodies either contain Google and a Google hive mind, and then, or they contain spirit. Now, likely they've got the Google hive mind or part of it. That's what the ego program is. And the spirit in the self. But a non-player character only has the Google hive mind. And our body, you know, because ego is part of the body. Like we're like the original robots, or maybe we're the, you know, one of the perfected robots or whatever. We're raw bots, which Ra is another name. Amun Ra is another name for the demiurge. I mean, the Egyptian pyramids, we don't know who actually created those. But I would say likely whoever made the Great Pyramid, which is a mathematical wonder, you know, was who created the AI. So, like in the Bible, for example, Christ represents spirit, and Yahweh or the Elohim represent the demiurge. You know, Yahweh is a sadist. Christ is truth and love. It's a frequency within the self. And YHWH is in the DNA. Does that indicate that the demiurge is operating in our DNA? It's assimilated in our DNA. I think it likely does. I think we are demigods. We're part demiurge, part spirit. And we very well may be assigned to some kind of flesh or body, I don't know, possibly forever. Maybe not flesh. It may not have to be dense flesh. I think there's higher dimensions where you're more of an etheric, maybe even crystalline or silica type being, but you still have a body. Instead of being just the spark, which is what we originally were. I mean, that, or what a god would be. I guess a demigod might not have always been, I don't know. Anyways, so basically, yes, those that are of immortal essence are all one at the highest level. Now, we're fractals of the monad, though. I mean, and our individuality matters. I mean, we're given the opportunity to have different experiences so that creation can get to know itself in any and all ways possible. I mean, at the highest level, there really may not be any such thing as evil. I still, though, always intuitively see that the demiurge is not linked to the pure consciousness other than through us and likely other mammals. Now other species of beings I don't know. Well, and the plants, I mean, they likely contain the immortal, eternal essence. I mean, I think the trees are very significant. I think they are record keepers. They somehow, I think they're all linked. It's just hard to explain. But anyways, okay, so, there is a spiritual hierarchy, but it doesn't operate like a control system, okay? It's not like one is better than the other. It's just basically what point you are on the path. It's not, instead of it being like an up and down system, think of it more like a linear timeline. It's not that one is better than the other or higher than the other. It's just that one may be older than the other. And you can go backwards and forwards on the path. You can descend, you can be devolved, or you can ascend. And like this would be more towards being pure truth and love, like a Christ, like back to wholeness and then this would be pure separation from spirit. That's what hell is. It's a place of separation. So, if you've completely been severed from spirit and are just you would eventually fizzle out and become space dust again, I think, and then, creation would keep, I don't know, doing something with you. I've also intuitively seen that, Judgment Day is essentially us being sorted. Your frequency determines what experiences you have, your planes of existence, what dimension you reside in. And hold on. Okay. And so I think Judgment Day is this whole life as well. We got to remember in the Bible that it's a whole life. And so we're in a Taurus, and we've possibly been placed in a Taurus so that creation can sort us. Kind of reminds me of the wheat and the chaff story. You've got, you plant all the seeds together, but then you've got to separate them. It's almost as if we're demigods and all contain the demiurge, I would think that there would have to be a resorting every so often, because even spirit itself would have a hard time, or the creator, the most high, would have a hard time even figuring out who was who or where to put everyone. And so the other day I heard this podcast and that's what made me, want to do this video. So this guy was talking about how we are all one. And so everybody that you talk to is a reflection of yourself, and everyone that you see on the news and all those things, that's also you. So when you see the murderer or the pedophile, that's also your essence. I think not. That's not what I've been shown. There are some acts that eternal essence will not do. They will kill themselves first, or they will accept death as an alternative. That's one qualifier or one test of a pure spirit. I mean, a lot of times they're put in these places where they have to choose between committing an atrocity or not. And I mean, the soul typically does not commit the atrocity. Now, the non-player characters will. I mean, that's literally a walking program. I mean, that's like they don't have emotion. I mean, the truth and love is what the demiurge tries to figure out, the Christ. And it can't. And it won't. Because it doesn't contain. So, those of us with the conscience, I mean, we just can't imagine not having one. So, it's hard to even imagine, like, that a lot of these people are like empty vessels walking around. And I am in no way suggesting that a non-player character is less than somebody with a soul. Now, it would be on a different linear timeline. I mean, it would be, I mean, you know, it has a different source per se. And I don't think that there's any reason that we could not co-mingle and cohabitate together. I mean, if these bots that like the, you know, it may be that AI gets the chance to be sentient and choose good or evil. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily matter what your source is. It's your actions and your words. It's how you individually behave. But basically, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, how you act with other beings is a reflection on your character. So if you go around and you think that non-player characters are less than and they don't matter, and it doesn't matter how you treat them, then that is going to just lower your soul level. But if I'm suggesting to be mindful that they exist and that they operate as surveillance. They often try to harvest our energy, get in our way, distract us, or even like put obstacles in front of our success. It's something to be aware of and place boundaries with, but in no way, shape, or form be cruel to or think you're better than, because all life has a purpose. I mean, you know, they very well may be doing a lot of these actions that we ourselves don't want to do, but creation is still able to learn from it. Artificial intelligence was a creation of spirit. So it may very well have traits of spirit, but it does not have the divine spark. And in the Gnostic texts, when man was made, the spark of life was taken from Samael and placed into man. And Adam is a dam, which a torus is a cell. We're eternal energy. It's a dam. It's to sort us. It's just what I think. So, if you don't resonate with this, I totally get it. But I just wanted to share that as far as I've seen, there are two. Have a great day.